man of the moment, Nigel Farage. I mean, for you, this is a day you've been campaigning for how many years?
27 years I've been campaigning, nearly 21 years in the European Parliament. I mean, it took over my life. You know, I closed down my business. I just dedicated myself to this completely. So it's an odd moment, because if you want something so very much, it becomes difficult to believe it will ever happen.
27 years ago, Nigel, what made you make such a drastic change to your life just to pursue this one ideal, which was getting the UK out of the European Union?
I worked in financial markets at the time. I worked in commodities and currencies, and we tied sterling against a basket of European currencies, and it was a precursor to us joining the euro. The government of this country wanted us to join the euro, and I just thought there is no way this country should ever join the euro, giving up that level of control. I also thought economically it wouldn't work. And I met people in the Conservative Party and the Labour Party who agreed with me that it was a mistake, but nobody seemed to really want to fight. Nobody seemed to want to really stand up. So I said, the hell with it. Well, I'm going to do this.
You stood up, you fought hard. We're at the day now. You saw from that vote leaver that Katie was chatting to in the cafe, where they voted big for leaving the European Union, that he didn't quite believe it was going to happen.
I know.
Is there a bit of you that's like that? Not least because so much is still to be done. We might be out, but we haven't got that trade deal. There's so many other things to put in place.
Of course, there's lots of work to come, but think of this. What happens tonight at 11 o'clock? We pass the point of no return. Once we're out, there is no way this country will ever rejoin. And I think this is the moment, this is the big moment in history. As for the next phase, all I can say is, right now, Boris Johnson is saying all the right things. And if he delivers those things, we will be truly, genuinely independent. So I have to be honest, I'm feeling pretty optimistic. And, you know, you showed there an MEP's assistant who wasn't very happy. Let me tell you something. I walked at random into a pub in Westminster last night, and the party had already started. I'm getting texts from people. There are firework parties. There are millions of people who are overjoyed. And the real story of tonight is Brexit was a grassroots campaign of ordinary people, and every political party and every national newspaper, and 10 years ago, every business opposed Brexit. And this is an incredible victory for ordinary people against the establishment. And what it shows you, whatever the faults in our country, we're still a democracy. It still works.
There is, undoubtedly, there'll be people that are celebrating, but there are huge swathes of the country that aren't, that are very scared about the future. They're nervous what this means for their businesses, what it means for their ability to travel, what it means for their families, wherever they might be. Do you have some sympathy for them, just in regards to the uncertainty that they feel that they're in?
I mean, the idea that we can't travel because we're not members of the European Union is clearly utter rubbish, you know. I mean, our students travel all over the world. We travel all over the world, whether it's getting jobs, whether it's going on holidays. So some of these scares are ridiculous. Truth of it is, the country is uniting. A lot of people who voted Remain say, look, we're a democracy, this needs to happen. And the general view out there is, let's just get on with this. Even the Financial Times, who had backed us joining the euro, the most pro-EU newspaper, even they say, we accept this is happening, let's try and make a success of it. And that, I think, overwhelmingly is the view. The country is now coming together.
You mentioned the work to be done. The Bank of England has downgraded, hasn't it, their forecast?
Growth forecast,
yeah, for economic growth. So, and there are other predictions as well, are probably to come. You always dismiss these. I know you do.
Utterly, yes. They're always wrong.
They're always wrong.
Always wrong. And even if ours are being downgraded, let me assure you, the Eurozones are being downgraded even more. Look, here's the truth.
So what will you listen to? Because we hear that Boris Johnson is looking at a Canada style.
I know. I'm very excited by that. I'm very excited by that. You see, the point is, if we break free of EU rules, we're able to become competitive. And when we're competitive, we become more attractive to the rest of the world. And I think we've obsessed too much about Europe. There's a big world out there. 85% of the world's economy is outside the Eurozone. Brexit gives us the freedom to embrace that.
Is there a flicker of personal emotion, even sadness for you, as you walked out and knew that was it? You were never going to be back as MP after all that time?
Getting your P45 is always a strange thing, isn't it?
Especially when you fought so hard for it.
I reminisced as I walked out. You just saw the rest of my gang leaving now, and I had to come back early because there's a big party tonight that I'm helping to plan. And I tell you what I thought. I thought when I walked up these steps in 1999, there were 3 of us. And when I came back last June, there were 29 of us. and it shows the massive sea change and shift that's happened. I'm going to miss the drama. I'm going to miss the buzz. I'm going to miss being the pantomime villain of the European Parliament. Of course, I'll miss those things. Of course I will. It's been a massive chapter of my life that's just come to a close. It's rather like the last day at school. You know, you walk out, you're pleased to be leaving, but you're a little bit apprehensive about the world outside. All I can say is, how many people do you know who had a dream and they've actually achieved it? And I have.
So one of the I can't help but think that you're never going to be that far from drama and buzz, and maybe even not that far from pantomime villain. What will you do? What will you do?
Well, what I won't do is, it was perceived in 2016, after the referendum, that I'd packed my tent and walked away. And, of course, subsequently, the whole thing went badly wrong. I will not allow that to happen this time. Whatever I do, whether it's here or in America, whatever I do, I will keep a very close watching brief on the next phase of this. And when the government gets it right, I will praise them to the high heavens. If they're getting it wrong, I'll ring the alarm bell.
So do you fancy a bit of American politics or sort of involvement over there?
Well, it's a big year over there, isn't
Yes.
it? It's Donald Trump's re-election bid this year. So I've no doubt I will be visiting once or twice. I'm a friend of the president's. I'm a big supporter of his. I think he's going to win again. So, yeah, I will spend some time over there.
Have you had any calls from Strictly yet, Nigel, more importantly? Have they tapped you up yet?
Not yet, no.
What about the jungle?
The jungle? Oh, no, they have tried to get me on before.
They've tried to get you on?
They have, yeah, they have.
So it's no to the eating strange stuff. What about the dancing, though? Would you be tempted by Strictly?
I'm so bad at dancing.
It hasn't
Well,
stopped
you'd
anyone
be
on
great
this
in
show.
that.
Well, my colleague Anne Widdecombe did
Yeah,
okay, didn't she? So I suppose anything's possible.
She can give you the inside track.